how a teenage Minecraft scammer hacked Twitter, stole millions from the richest, and lost it all.
It's the case of a kid genius.
This was not an ordinary 17-year-old.
Imagine a hacker taking full control of Twitter, one of the biggest social media platforms, and also accessing their biggest accounts. But this is the true story of Graham. On July 15, 2020, he breached Twitter's security, hijacking the profiles of Barack Obama, Bill Gates, Elon Musk to post a Bitcoin doubling scam.
He and two others did it in an effort to scam users out of Bitcoin.
He made $117,000 in a few hours, but for Graham, this was only the beginning of a much bigger prize. Before he became the guy who hacked Twitter,
17-year-old accused of taking over these incredibly the most high-profile accounts on Twitter. So this has gotten a lot of attention when this hack happened. We've all reported this was seen as a historic hack of Twitter.
Several high-profile individuals were taken over.
Graham was known as a popular YouTuber in the niche world of Minecraft's hardcore factions game mode. At just 14, he ran a moderately popular channel, posting videos filled with humor and gameplay. But beneath the surface, Graham was a manipulator. He leveraged his audience to pull scams, phony merchandise, and even theft. When exposed, Graham showed no emotions. He didn't care about right or wrong, only about his money.
It's the case of a kid genius.
This was not an ordinary 17-year-old.
Which would be used to buy expensive designer clothes, watches, and even cars. Hardcore Factions was a breeding ground for this behavior. The game had a lot of high expectations, where a single death could result in a ban. That fostered a toxic environment. Players turned to cheats, account hacking, and even doxing to stay ahead. Graham ruled the environment. Imagine if you played this game and after beating Graham, you'd have special forces knocking at your doorstep. Well, this was reality and fear that people felt when reading his name.
Going on Minecraft, scamming people on Minecraft, getting their what's called capes, which is your badge of honor in the Minecraft world.
A scammer, a liar, and just someone that is pretty scummy. You guys probably know him already. It's Open and his friend Feed. They work together and they scam like Minecraft capes. Like they sell Minecraft capes and it's a scam.
Learning skills and tactics that would later fuel his more serious crimes. As Minecraft began to lose its grip on Graham, he found a new obsession: the underground marketplace for stolen social media usernames. Rare handles like Open or Panda could sell for thousands of dollars online. By 2018, Graham was deep into this world, setting up shop on forums like OG Users, where hackers and scammers traded stolen accounts. The transition was seamless. The skills Graham learned in Minecraft, which included manipulation and deception, applied perfectly to this new playground.
YouTuber that's so generous to do giveaways like that, constantly scams people that I know. Michael, he got DDoSed by Open multiple times. Well, he supposedly got DDoSed by Open multiple times.
He wasn't just buying and selling stolen usernames. He was learning from experienced hackers about phishing, doxing, and even SIM swapping, a method of stealing phone numbers to access people's accounts.
Hi, thank you for calling AT&T.
Call the provider of whoever had that account and pretend to be an employee and get access through the terms and language that employees use.
International story with ties to a Florida teen
responsible for the fraud in hacking.
Graham's first major crime involved Greg Bennett, a tech investor. On April 15, 2019, Bennett's phone lost service. Minutes later, hackers drained his cryptocurrency accounts, stealing 164 bitcoins worth $900,000 at the time, over $6 million today. The attackers, Graham and his accomplices, they had SIM swapped Bennett's phone, going from petty crimes to felony, the SIM swap, stealing his texts and calls. And with that, he had access to his email. They reset passwords and looted his crypto wallets.
I got a notice from the Secret Service. When they finally captured Graham, they made it known to me that there was probably some recovery that was available to me. It absolutely goes dead. There's no cell signal, no nothing. I can't get into my email account either. I immediately called up AT&T and they say, sorry, sir, that's not your account. All my crypto accounts have been hacked. And think about how easy this is. If somebody takes over your phone, all these folks have to do is use your email address to try to log on to these accounts and then say, forgot password. So then the password resets. It's sent to your text, which is now controlled by another phone that you don't have. And they reset the passwords, and now they have complete control over getting into all of your crypto accounts.
What did Graham do with the money? He flaunted it. Designer clothes, a BMW, and all this became his new reality. On Instagram, under the handle Error, he posted about his lifestyle. But Graham's greed knew no bounds. When it came time to split the stolen Bitcoin, he kept the big amount for himself, angering his accomplices.
Yeah, so I mean, as you know, a lot of people didn't like him because of some of the choices he made. So obviously that's going to come with some backlash. They got his family's personal info. They were just constantly harassing him. Someone sent people to Graham's house to scare him or even rob him at one point.
They turned on him, threatening to expose him to the authorities. Some even went as far as planning to rob and do a hit on him. By late 2019, Graham's world was unraveling. A search warrant led to the loss of $15,000 in cash and 400 Bitcoins. Yet, remarkably, he avoided serious charges. Partly due to his age, he was charged as a juvenile, but trouble found him again. In early 2020, Graham was linked to a home invasion tied to a
It happened at the Seasons at West Chase apartment complex on the 12,000 block of Citrus Falls Circle
deal gone wrong. Though police couldn't prove his involvement, the incident marked the end of his high school career and the beginning of his life on the run. With his back against the wall, Graham went all in. By mid-2020, he and a younger accomplice were targeting Twitter. Using phishing techniques, they tricked employees into revealing credentials, gaining access to Twitter's internal tools. On July 15th, they took over high-profile accounts, posting a Bitcoin scam saying, "Send $1,000 and we'll send back $2,000. It was childish but effective, earning them more than $100,000 before exchanges blacklisted their wallet. The hack could have been far more catastrophic. With access to accounts like Apple and Uber, they could have tanked stocks or leaked sensitive messages. Instead, they chose a quick cash grab, a move that underscored their immaturity. It took the FBI just 2 weeks to catch Graham. His accomplices, careless with their crypto transactions, led investigators straight to him. Facing 30 felony charges, Graham struck a plea deal, receiving 6 years under Florida's youthful offender law.
Well, now the 17-year-old may be ready to cut a deal with the state of Florida. Fox 13's Gloria Gomez shows us what happened during a hearing today.
The FBI, using undisclosed methods, apprehended Graham and an accomplice. The specifics remain sealed, a nod to the confidentiality protocols.
Hey, Mr. Clark, do you understand that those are the facts you're pleading guilty to?
Yes.
Right, and again, no one forced you or coerced you into entering this plea, correct, sir?
Yes.
No one forced you or coerced you, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Your testimony, my review of the plea forms, as well as the court file and the state and defense's approval of the plea, I accept your plea. I find it is knowing and voluntary as a youthful offender as follows.
Under this deal, authorities say he will not be allowed to use computers without supervision and permission from law enforcement.
Remarkably, he'll still walk away with millions in Bitcoin, which has appreciated dramatically in value. Graham's story is a cautionary tale about the dangerous allure of internet crime. His early scams seemed harmless, but spiraled into something far more sinister. Graham was a product of his environment, a world that normalized fraud and rewarded greed. For Graham, the line between right and wrong blurred long ago. The question now is whether he'll ever find his way back.
Then using those accounts to scam people out of more than $100,000 in Bitcoin. He faces 30 charges and, if convicted, could spend up to 200 years.
Their bond hearing interrupted here in such a vulgar way.
A Zoom call. During the arraignment, 17-year-old Graham pleaded not guilty on felony counts.
Judge Christopher Nash noted that the next meeting would be password protected, meaning that this meeting itself, this bond hearing, was not password protected. And I noted when I saw the number of people on the Zoom call, 71 people at one point.
Counts 1 through 18, you'll be sentenced to a term of incarceration as a youthful offender of 3 years, as to each count to run concurrently with each other, and if you qualify to the basic training boot camp provision of the youthful offender law. Time since your arrest on July 31st, 2020, toward the incarceration portion of the sentence imposed. As to counts 19 through 30, I sentence you to a term of 3 years probation on each count to run concurrent with each other, but consecutive to the term of incarceration on counts 1 through 18. If you violated your probation, you will be subject to the mandatory minimum term of incarceration of 10 years, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that's just the minimum, but your sentence could be much more if you violate the terms. You understand that, correct?
Yes.
Or will he, like so many before him, see his crimes as just another game to win?